YouTube, what's going on? It's your boy Subconscious, and I'm back with another one, man. Another late night video. You guys know what's up. I was just talking with a friend of mine, and we were chopping it up about a lot of different stuff, but mainly we got to talking about like people that wear a lot of like designer stuff, you know, like designer clothes, and people who are materialistic and people who are just sucked into that lifestyle. You know, we were kind of talking about how the difference is there's a difference between somebody who is like sucked into that lifestyle versus somebody who likes nice stuff but brings God into the equation, you know. And what we broke it down to is that basically a lot of these people, you guys, and most of society, you know, is addicted to validation from other people. You know, when you break it down, it's not about the nice clothes or the nice car or the nice whatever, you know. It's about getting validation from people. You know, what's the spiritual side of this issue, you know? And it's a large portion of the population, you guys, you know, because a lot of people are basically, you know, social media is a huge proponent to this, you guys, and a lot of people are, you know, glued to their phones, and they get addicted to social media. But guys, the video that I wanted to, because I'm gonna go into all that stuff. I'm already on a roll here, you guys. But let's get into this, man. The title for this one is your spiritual journey, or basically, you know, putting God first on a daily basis, learning about God. You know, it could be your semen retention journey, anything that brings God into the equation, you guys. God is going to show you what's going on, you know. So the title for this is that when you go on your journey, you're going to stop caring what other people think about you, and you're not going to really be invested in validation from people, right? You're going to be more interested in validation from God, you know, and maybe the people that love you. I mean, even that can be dangerous, but more so your small circle and God. You know, God is obviously the true, the number one source of power that you want to be going to, you know, on a daily basis. So let's get into it, you guys. What I've learned, you guys, is that going on your spiritual journey and going on your path of finding God and learning to really put God first, learning to really be obedient, whether you guys are on semen retention, whether you guys, whatever spiritual practice that you guys have, your spiritual journey allows you to see, you know. And this is a spiritual gift, you know, from God. It's called discernment. So we're able to see kind of what's going on here. So for the longest time, you guys, I felt like I was asleep, you know, for that however long, from age, I don't know, like 15 till 28 or something. I was asleep, bro, and a lot of you guys can relate, but just out here just delusional, you know, like a zombie. I was participating in a lot of BS, you know. I was drinking a lot, you know, going out and partying, drugs, smoking weed all the time, you know, just whatever, being hanging out with different types of women all the time, you know, just acting crazy, you know, reckless. I had no direction in my life, you know. And now the main thing that God has helped me see is, first of all, how to, like, you know, be more obedient, first of all, after reading the Bible. You know, that's definitely number one. But one of the biggest things is he's showing me, like, the difference between validation from people and validation from God, right? And as soon as you give up and you learn about this and you give it up, you stop caring about what other people think about you, because you realize that's all part of it. You know, it's all part of like you got to cut it off. You know, you basically just cut it off, you know, at the neck to where it's dead, you know, where you go to God only. You know, God is your only validation source. You know, you can't rely on people, because people aren't God. You know, God is the only one who's going to show you your real value as a person, you know, and who you really are. So God reveals to us the truth about a lot of stuff, and this is one of the biggest ones that I've found out since going on semen retention, you know, being obedient, putting God first. He showed me that most of the people, you know, they're sucked into this kind of a lifestyle. A lot of people are sucked into this worldly lifestyle where they're hooked on, like, buying clothes. You know, they start to make a little bit of money, and then they're like, oh, you know, I'm gonna go buy a Tesla, and I'm gonna go buy, you know, all these designer clothes, and then, you know, they go around and they end up getting respect from people for having all this material stuff. But the people that are giving them respect are also broken. They're also under the delusion, right? Because they're like, oh, yeah, this guy must be cool. He's got money. He's got all this stuff. But you guys, that's the enemy's business. That's how the devil gets us. Is how he gets us to, value all of this stuff over God. Money, materials, fame, clout, all this different stuff, social status, all that stuff doesn't matter in the eyes of God. You guys, God wants us to love ourselves and love other people and serve God. That's really it. Like God has a very simple instruction manual for us to follow. So all this other stuff is for the birds. You guys, is really, what we were talking about is that it hits different, when you bring God into the equation. Like you can still have nice stuff, you can still have nice things, but you got to bring God into the equation. You can't just be out here like getting sucked into this validation spell. That's what I call it. Like everyone's like under a spell to where they need validation from external sources instead of going within, and finding their peace within and from God, So it's how it is, man. I don't want to say most people. I keep generalizing that, but it's a huge problem today in society. Is that everybody is addicted to validation from people. You know what I mean? And I really believe that it's a huge agenda from the enemy, from the devil. It makes everyone too busy to go to God. That's the whole point, you guys. It makes everyone really busy and focused. When you're on your phone all the time, you're sucked out of the present moment. There's people that are always trying to film everything and do mindless content and things that have no value, just posting pictures like of their meal or whatever, man. And then they just post it to get validation from people. That's a sign that that person is sick spiritually. Whenever I see someone that posts a lot on social media, that's a sign. That's a red flag that that person is like sick, spiritually, because they want validation from other people. They're not getting it from themselves, and they're not getting it from God. You know what I mean? So that's a sick person. If you see someone that's always on social media, you guys post. That person is sick, spiritually. And so it's living materialistic, man. Addicted to social media. Addicted to money, clout, fame, all that stuff. It's a whole different lifestyle versus living for God. When God is just all about, like I said, serving God, loving yourself, and loving other people, spreading love, spreading the gospel. It's a very simple instruction manual for us children of God, and all that other stuff is for the birds, man, and that's created from the enemy. God is going to show us eventually that he is the true source of power and strength, okay? All of that other stuff is, you end up getting into that, and basically it's going to run you dry. You're not going to be able to sustain that lifestyle. That's why you see a lot of people, end up, they'll go crazy, like trying to keep up that lifestyle. I was talking with my friend, and basically it was like, I guess she said that she's seen people like go broke, like just run their whole life dry trying to keep up with brands, trying to keep up with certain status. That lifestyle, guys, it's all fake. All right, and it's basically, you could turn into like an addiction, so it's crazy, man. You gotta realize that all that stuff is for the birds, and it's basically a very evil agenda to rip us out of the present moment and to get us focused on the wrong stuff. We got to be focused on God first and foremost. All right, guys. So our spiritual journey is going to get us to this place where we can see not only see all of this stuff clearly, but we're going to be able to take action on it. You'll stop posting as much on social media, because you understand that can generate some toxic, type feelings. You know what I mean? You start getting addicted to it. Oh, I like the likes, you post something and you get a lot of likes. You're like, oh, let's do another one. You know what I mean? It gets addicting. So you go on this spiritual journey, you start putting God first. He's going to start teaching you that, it doesn't matter what other people think of you. You are who you are. We're all born here as a very special and unique human being, and we all have special gifts. Everybody has their own special gift, right? So nobody is better than anybody else. Nobody is less than anybody else. We're all created equally in God's image, so we're all the same. you know. So that is what God will end up showing you guys. And then once you get to that place, you'll stop caring about what other people think about you. You'll stop putting value into materialistic stuff. And if you do like nice stuff like me, you know, you go about it differently, right? You bring God into the equation, and you're way more grateful when you do have nice things. You know, it doesn't mean you have to stop doing nice things or stop enjoying, you know, having money. You know, you could still be a man of God or a woman of God and have a lot of money. It's just, what's your mindset with that stuff? You know, is that making you happy? Is that your power source? You know, is your money or your fame or, you know, your friends, like your social status, or is it God? You know, there's a huge difference between those things. So super important, man. And this is what I've learned along the pathway. You know, God, start putting God first. He's going to start molding your thoughts, you guys, and your spirit. All right. You stop caring about what people think of you. So hopefully you guys learned something from this. As always, I'll catch you guys later, man. Peace out.